if you had more sort of resources, you'd actually be able to spend more time either helping train other people or going to things like schools and that kind of stuff. Is that the kind of thing that you'd be able to actually be able to do if you had more?
Definitely, yes. And this is my dilemma at the moment, is that I've got now so many birds that if I work any more hours at my job, I have less time here to do what I'm doing with them, which means the whole thing falls in on itself.
Right.
But I'm not working enough hours to fund the amount of birds that I've got, and so basically I have no free time whatsoever. I'm either at work or I'm here doing bird stuff. So I have all these dreams and all these ideas about training people to help me, and going to schools and educating kids and doing pet bird ownership training programs. But I just don't have the time to make any of it happen, and I also don't have the energy, because I'm pretty much, at the end of the day, I'm really, really exhausted. So yeah, what I'm looking for is some funding so that basically I can create a bird shelter and involve volunteers and get people to help me and get the community on board, so that Mickey, come here, so that I can be freed up to do more education, and to, if there was a bird shelter, it would free up other wildlife carers to concentrate on other animals.
Oh, sorry, Mickey. Because that's actually, because what you've been talking about up to this point is actually simply being able to apply resources to what already exists, because you don't have enough money or funding or time or anything like that to actually even achieve how you'd like to, in the current situation.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it sounds like, from what you've spoken about before, is that if you had more resources and therefore, in a sense, more time, you'd actually be able to spend more time developing a larger project, which would involve more people, jobs actually for people, in the area of animal veterinary science and all of that kind of stuff. And all.
Absolutely.
So it's not just this sort of daily getting through the daily process, but actually a larger vision. Could you explain a little bit more about the larger vision?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for asking, because I mean that's really like the grand scale idea, where it would be a fully functioning bird shelter that would incorporate volunteers but also employ people. Perhaps even incorporate community programs where people with social issues or depression or recovering from trauma can come in and interact with the birds and help out with the birds, because for me, as exhausting and full on as it really is, it's very nourishing and fulfilling and healing as well. And I'd love to be able to share that with people, especially because that would really create an understanding and a bond and a love between those people and birds and nature, which is really like my ultimate aim in life, is to connect people and animals, in particular birds. So I like the idea very much of being able to bridge those two, and in the operation of a bird shelter and involving the community and involving staff and involving volunteers. Yeah. So it's a shared workload, because at the moment it's myself and a few other wildlife carers trying to take on the whole of Brisbane's wildlife basically, and it's too much, and we can't afford it anymore. I mean, it's just so many animals, and we're all battling. So yeah, it could be an amazing project, but we do just need that initial funding.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's anything else that closing remarks, or do we need to kind of stop and work out what other questions we might need to ask?
Yeah. No, I I mean, the only thing I would say is that for people who are interested in funding the project, they might be looking for a point of difference. You know, what do I do that's different to other animal carers or other animal shelters or other wildlife carers? And I suppose my individual point of difference is that I really do specifically just care for birds, but I care for all birds. So that's pet birds, wild birds, domestic birds, you know, injured, orphaned, the whole lot. So I don't discriminate between them. There's a lot of carers who are very particular about what they'll take. So a lot of the birds I get really are in quite a bad shape, and there's nowhere else for them to go once they've come here. So that's why it's so necessary to create this bird shelter, because we do have the RSPCA with dogs and cats and livestock, but there is no bird shelter in Brisbane or even in Queensland that I know of. So it's really quite lacking.